Well, we have only 2 more days to go. This is the 19th of August, and then we have the federal elections. Now, we don't know what's going on, but I can tell you this. The Julia Gillard treason charges have been, to this point of time, totally swept under the carpet. The courts, judges, magistrates that have been charged with treason in connection to the changing of the oath of allegiance, all of these charges have been swept away, and the Gillard trip are not mentioning a thing about it. But worse than that, this morning at the Brisbane wholesale fruit and veggie markets, I was there and I asked a question of Tony Abbott. I said, Tony, do you know about this? Now, here's his reply.
No, it's tough.
Tony,
yes, mate.
There's a lot of reports that Gillard has been charged with tainted of treason. Do you know about it? Now, is it true?
No, I don't know about that.
You don't know about it?
I don't know about that.
But they're in the court that Gillard is charged with treason.
I haven't heard that.
You don't?
Heard that. No, I tell you.
Well, it's in the court, do you?
She's told a lot of fibs, but I don't know that she's actually been... I don't think she's been guilty of treason at this stage.
Well, she changed the oath of allegiance.
Charlie,
You know about that?
Charlie, just walk that way.
Well, as you can see, Tony Abbott, possibly the next Prime Minister of Australia, doesn't know anything about something that has been published on the internet for the last 3 years, and the whole world knows that Julia Gillard has been charged with treason. But the worst thing about this, she also uttered a false, counterfeit, fraudulent oath of allegiance in front of the Governor-General when she was sworn in as Prime Minister. And something like this is just stamping all over the Australian people, ignoring their laws, running roughshod over the people, and ignoring the Magna Carta, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Australia 1901, and of course it's in breach of Section 44. Now, when the leaders of a country such as Australia are so desperate to keep control of all the people, but to keep control of them under false stealth, lies, innuendos, coming behind the back door, running roughshod over the laws of the land, this is a terrible thing. And I'm quite sure in my heart that there's going to be a lot of Australian people really very upset about this. Now, we've come to a point where within 2 days of the elections, the whole world already knows about the Gillard being charged with treason. She is the existing Prime Minister of this country. And there's judges and there's magistrates and there's judicial people who have already been charged with treason, together with the Attorney Generals of states of Australia being charged with treason. Here we have a Tony Abbott running as the Liberal national candidate for Prime Ministership, and he is denying anything about it. Now, it's hard to understand that that's possible. As a matter of fact, we know it's not possible, because myself and several other people in our association have made sure that every single politician and senators have all received notification of these treason charges. They've all received several communiques, and we've made sure that by phone call and following them up with the emails and letters, they do know what's going on. Now, why is it that these leaders who were put there by trust from the people to represent the people of Australia, why are they telling so many lies, and why are they doing what they're doing, and that is to ignore you, the people of Australia, and ignore the laws of our land? Julia Gillard has evaded appearing before a grand jury, and sooner or later, whilst this country is a democracy under the judicial system, under the Constitution of 1901, sooner or later these people will have to appear before a grand jury. There's no doubt that the Attorney Generals and the governments of all the states and federal tried to do their best to make sure that they could abolish grand juries. But there's one thing here that Brian Shaw was able to do. Victoria was the last state to abolish grand juries, and these criminal charges were laid against these people before they abolished the grand jury. Now we're asking all of these people that have been charged, if you feel that you're innocent, then show the public, show Australian people that you are quite prepared to stand in front of a grand jury. Because if you're indicted in front of a grand jury, you cannot sit for a minister in Parliament. As a matter of fact, whilst you are under a charge of treason or attainted of treason, you cannot, you're disqualified, you cannot sit for any seat in the Parliament of this country. Now you can download this from the internet. This is about your constitution, and I'm going to read to you from section 44 of what it says when somebody has been attainted of treason or charged with treason. This is section 44. It's under any acknowledgement of allegiance, of obedience, or adherence to a foreign power, or is a subject or a citizen, or entitled to the rights or privileges of a subject or a citizen of foreign power. Any person who is attainted of treason, or has been convicted and is under sentence, or subjected to sentenced for any offence punishable under the law of the Commonwealth or of a state by imprisonment for 1 year or longer, is an undischarged bankrupt or insolvent, holds any office of profit under the Crown, or any pension payable during the pleasure of the Crown out of any of the revenues of the Commonwealth, or has any direct or indirect pecuniary interest in any agreement with the public services of the Commonwealth otherwise than as a member and in common with other members of an incorporated company consisting of more than 25 persons, shall be incapable of being chosen, let alone sitting, incapable of being chosen or of sitting as a senator or as a member of the House of Representatives. This is on the Constitution 1901 that's applicable today, and these people are ignoring it. One thing is for sure, if Julia Gillard and the judges, all of the judiciary, the attorney generals, if all of the people that have been charged with treason do not face up to a grand jury to prove their innocence, they will have these charges over their head for the rest of their life. I want to ask you something. Are you going to vote for somebody and put them back into government that has destroyed your trust, betrayed you and your trust, and a person who has undischarged charges of treason over their head? Are you going to vote for them? You're going to put them back into government of this country? If you do, I can assure you one thing will happen. Eventually, we will have tyrannical rule in this country, far worse than Stalin or Hitler or China or anywhere else in the world.